Thank you. I'm glad you took the time to come today. This is going to be a hour and a half presentation. I will tell you a little bit more about my background. I actually have been a teacher for 28 years. I retired from Sheldon ISD as Director of Instructional Technology, Libraries, and Career and Technical Education. Yay, CTE. So I'm really steeped and vested in the CTE part. I believe that every child does not have to get a 4-year degree. I believe that there are lots of great careers out there that require less than a 4-year degree. And if you have a 4-year degree, that is fantastic. Kids need to hear from you, and they need to hear from people with 2-year degrees. So what I'm here today to do is to train you to be an ambassador. Right now, if you look at this slide, this tells you that we're going to need a lot more people. We've got to have more employees, direct employees and resident contractors, because there's so many people retiring from the industry. I was telling my new friends from Dow that my husband retired from DuPont after 46 years. And when he walked out that door, he took a lot of experience with him. And there's a lot of great new people coming in, ladies and gentlemen, with great skills. And he talks all the time about, wow, I'm shocked at how much these kids know. But they'll never know what he knows about that plant. He knows that plant inside out after 46 years. So when he left, and when all of the other people his age are leaving all of the other plants, they're walking out with experience that cannot be replaced. So what we've got to do is bring these people up to speed. We've got to have a new crop of people coming in as process technicians, as carpenters, as welders, as instrument techs. We've got to have new people moving up the chain to build experience and build capacity in these plants. Why are we doing this? We need to promote and help grow the pipeline of our workforce potential. We need to explain who we are and what we do so people will understand. I can guarantee you, even kids that go to school in the Pasadena, Deer Park area, LaPorte, Channelview, they don't know about plant jobs unless they know someone who works in a plant or are related to someone who works in a plant. They're really not aware of what careers are available to them. So what's an ambassador? You are the ambassadors. We're looking for talented workers from local companies to go and tell your story to the students. It doesn't have to be the story of the whole industry. It needs to be your story. Why you chose what you do, why you like it, what education it took to get to where you are. And it doesn't matter at what level you work in the plants. They need to know how you got where you are and why you chose it. We also like to refer to this group as jumpsuit volunteers. I absolutely love it when I get a volunteer, and I've had a couple from Shell. I had one from CP Chem, and they wear their uniform, their jumpsuit coveralls, whatever they wear, you know, the RFC, the red ones. They wear these to the presentations, and the kids get to see what that worker looks like on the job. And I use it all the time, y'all, to remind them, yeah, you know you have a school dress code. How you doing with that dress code? Okay? Right. And if you don't like the school dress code, here's what you get to wear when you go to work. So I already start on them. You know, dress code is dress code. You have to wear a dress code. Some like it, some of them don't. And so what are you being asked to do? All we want you to do is talk about what you do on your job. Tell the students what skills and training are required. Tell them interesting facts about your career. Talk about the safety in your plant. Talk about some of the cool things that your company makes. Talk about the fact that your company is environmentally friendly and the things you're doing to help save the environment. Tell them what you make. Tell them about, again, safety, safety, safety. When I do my presentation, safety is always the #1 issue that I stress. Every place you're going to work is all about safety. We have several different types of events that are available. We have classroom presentations, we have large group presentations, and we have career fairs. Now, Patty knows about all of these because she's done all of them. But I will tell you, they're all fun in their own way. Career fair is so exciting. It's a huge group. Classroom presentation to me is the highest quality presentation because you've got those kids from usually 40 to 60 minutes. So you're talking to them for a long time. At a career fair, you're talking to them for maybe 5 minutes. And the large group presentations, usually that is a quality presentation as well, because you've got them for a big span of time. All right. The career and job fairs, they're held at public schools, colleges, and event venues. Patty, would you tell us a little about some of the career fair types of things JA does?
Sure, we are getting ready to start our JA Inspire season. JA Inspire is a way for the students to come in and get soft skills presentations, as well as we have the career fair part where booths are set up, and then they also have industry presentations. And during their industry presentations, we have four different career paths that get about 15 minutes to speak to the students about their career paths. So it can open their minds to the different things that are available to them. JA Inspire is, it's a really fun event, and we give the students and teachers materials to prepare before they ever come to the event. So the students are prepared to ask questions or to know what their career path, where they're looking to go, so that they don't maybe not spend so much time over in the arts and humanities section of the career fair. They might go towards the STEM career field. So always looking for people to be industry presenters as well as work the booths. The booths at our career fairs, we don't do any handouts, so the kids are really there just to get the information.
And I do lots and lots of career fairs, all the way from Beaumont down to Matagorda area. They're all a little bit different, but they're all the same in a way, because the kids are going from booth to booth to find out about careers. This is where we get the chance to say, hey, I've got something for you you may not have thought about before. And we have handouts. I actually have a little wheel where after the ambassador talks to the students, then they come to me, I spin my wheel, and they have to answer a question to get a prize. There's no just handouts, okay? Because if you just hand things out, they're not going to listen to you. They don't get a handout until they talk with you. There's lots of different employers, careers, and colleges that are present at these events. There's always a huge college presence. Even when I went up to Burkeville in East Texas, San Jacinto College was there. It was fantastic. So it's good to see. You kind of have a circuit where you see the same old people and you get to know people well. These are noisy and they're crowded. There's lots of excitement. Again, you only give out handouts to the kids who speak with you. In fact, the way I do my contact count is I only count students that somebody in our booth speaks to. I don't count that there's 2,000 students expected. I count only the people that I make eye contact with, shake hands with, and talk to. So I have a real hard count.
And that's one of the things about JA Inspire is we get to count all those students, because all of those students, they may not have gone to the Petrochem Works booth at the career fair, but they all got the soft skills presentation and they all sat through an industry presentation. So we know that every student has received a message during the day, and that's one of the unique things about JA Inspire is the fact that it's 3 different sections throughout the day. And the other really cool thing, and the thing that's really important, is that it's great for Denise to have all of these booths at these career fairs, but it's not something she should be doing by herself. It's so important to really have people from, I mean, and I can go work the booth for her too, but I can't speak to what you guys can.
Exactly.
And even the colleges, just having, the perfect world, in the perfect world, there would be 4 people at the booth every time. Somebody from the college, Denise, somebody from the contractor side, and then somebody from the plants. And because that way, no matter what that kid walks up to that booth thinking they want to do, we have somebody there that can talk to them about their needs and wants.
And it's great. And I always push the community colleges. Wherever I go, I always make sure I know which community college serves that school area. So whenever the kids ask questions or I talk about specific careers, I can say that information and the coursework and the program is offered at Lee College or College of the Mainland or San Jacinto College or Houston Community College. I know which area I'm in, so I can direct the students to that particular college. So that one of the things on here, don't wait for the students to come to you. So they're walking around in groups, and some of them really don't want to talk to you. They're there because they have to be. Their teacher said they had to go, or the principal said they had to go. So what you do is you walk up to them and you say, hey, have you ever thought about a career in petrochemicals? Look at these. Here's some things you could do if you like. What do you like to do? And so I try to find something, to kind of match them. But I go up to more of them than come up to me. So I make a point to do that. And it's pretty fun. You really get to meet some neat kids. And I love their questions. They're going to ask you all kind of questions. Okay? I had a kid come up to me and ask me about 401k, and I thought, yes, I've got this kid. This kid knows. When I was up in East Texas, it was so different than it is here because there's not the opportunities for the kids there. So I talked to them about coming down to the coast. You can find jobs in the petrochemical industry, in the construction industry, everywhere from the tip of Brownsville to the tip of Florida. But you're going to have to move down to the coast. And it's funny, up there, all the kids wanted to work for the timber industry. That's not a huge industry. They can make a lot more here and have better opportunities here. So you have to be positive about this and talk to them about the great opportunities in this area and the fact that they may have to move. But in some cases, it's not but 2 or 3 hours away, so it's not like they're moving across country or anything. So this is the setup that we had over at Sam Rayburn High School. Generally, my helpers, I have like my setup helpers, they are Marty Yost from Dow and Kelly Sexton from Exxon. And those are the people that I have most of the time. So it's really fun to be able to work this. We have had a group from BASF that came to Beaumont, and that was fabulous, because they could really get out and talk to the kids. We try to have all genders, all ages, all races, because a kid wants to talk to somebody like them, okay? They want to talk to somebody that looks like them, that has a family like them, and that's where they relate.
One of the things that the committee really was pushing for all of the young, right, fresh out of college kids, and I know that at your offices, it's a lot harder to let them be gone from the plant. So, the Kellys and the Martys, they're amazing. And they have so much to offer in the way of experience. So don't ever hold back from sending somebody, because everybody has something different to offer. And as long as there's more than one person at the booth, anybody can be successful at the booth.
All right. This is the job fair, career and job fair setup. Most events will supply a table or two, a table and 2 or more chairs, but you have to contact the event. And I'm going to go after our break. I'm going to tell you how to do some of these things, so don't worry. We're all covered. You might want to pick up handouts from the ECMA office. If I'm going to be there, you don't have to bring anything but yourself, because I will have all of the handouts. You may wish to bring your own business cards, and if your company has giveaways that they want to add to our list, that's perfectly acceptable. Kelly and Marty always bring handouts from Dow and from Exxon. You have to check with the school on the types of giveaways, because some of the schools don't want like whistles and stuff like that. Don't bring anything that could cause any more trouble than they're already having. And again, don't just hand out the items. The kids, that's what they want. They don't want to talk to us, but we make them talk to us. I mean, we just go out and get them and bring them in. So talk to the kids before they get any kind of keepsake. So do you have any questions about the career fairs or job fairs? I'll let you know, some of them are actually outside. I do one for HISD in April, and it's outside, and it is a challenge because both times I've been, it's rained. So just be prepared for anything. The most important thing, come comfortable, wear comfortable shoes, because you're not going to sit down all day. You'll be standing up. A lot of the times, if it's a long career fair, a day-long thing, they'll bring lunch to you. I'm going to do one in Beaumont on, I think it's September 27th or 28th. And I ordered 4 lunches, so I'm expecting some people to sign up to go with me down there. It'll be fun. All right, the next is a classroom presentation. This was at Galena Park. Yes, this was at Galena Park Middle School. And the gentleman that's talking is Johnny Galvan, and he is from CP Chem. You see, he wore his coveralls. The kids need to see that. So he wore it, and he's also bilingual. That helps me a lot, because I do go into schools where I do need bilingual representation. And Johnny and Miguel Hernandez from Shell are my bilingual go-tos. I've had a couple of PTSO meetings at Brookline Elementary and HISD over by 16 and 288, and they were completely in Spanish. So I went, but I had to have Miguel speak because I could not. So that was really good. It's good that we have some bilingual people to help us with those areas, especially when you're talking to parents, because the parents want the best for their kids, and people like that can help us out a great deal. So in the classrooms, they're held in a regular classroom. The ambassador stays in the classroom, and the kids rotate in and out. I do this a lot at a lot of different schools. The teacher is present. They're not going to put you in there without any help from the teacher, because kids are kids. And because I was a teacher for so many years, it doesn't bother me, and I don't mind calling them out, but you might not want to do that. The classrooms usually have both a computer and a projector for teacher use. So if I'm not there, if you have to do it on your own, you can take a flash drive with a presentation on it. And I can help you with the presentation as well.
And JA has presentations available as well that fit in with the House Bill 5 regulations, the things that the schools are looking for. And we've come up with a program called JA Your Career, Your Future. And we have a whole page that's dedicated to Petrochem Works and getting to the website, as well as all the sponsors from ECMA that are involved in the committee to get that put together.
Okay, check on the technology before the presentation date. Some districts will have to give you a guest login. Some of them will not give you a guest login. Most of them will not. So what you have to do is call and say, hey, if I bring this, can the teacher log in and get me going? And most of the time they will be happy to do that. I always bring my presentation on the memory stick, and I always take this, because you never know. Another thing you have to be careful of is if you have a video, some schools have videos blocked. They may have YouTube blocked. There's no rhyme or reason because the school districts are different. So always check beforehand on the videos. And this is kind of what the setup will look like in a lot of classrooms. The best practice is bring your presentation on a removable flash. Bring the Petrochem Works handouts. Again, if I am there and you are accompanying me, you will not have to do anything but show up because I will have everything. And the presentations will vary. Sometimes the school's set up where a class will rotate in every 25 minutes by design. Usually their class periods are 40 to 46 minutes, but sometimes they have it set up for every 25 minutes. Sometimes they're on a block schedule. You'll have them for 90 minutes. So in that case, we try to have some activity for them to do on the 90-minute ones. Okay, any questions about the classroom presentations? I will tell you, if you go with me, I'll have a presentation, but I don't mind if you take up most of my time, because they want to hear what you have to say. They'll have a lot of questions for you, like, what's it like to do your job? What does your company make? You know, do you make a lot of money? You can say, well, I make enough. You can say what you want to. You don't have to tell them exactly what you make. How long did you have to go to college? I hate math. Did you have to do a lot of math? Those are some of the kind of questions you're going to get. They asked the engineer at the Alvin Summer Camp for Girls, did you have to do math? And so she went into this long explanation about math. And if I give you the eye, you've done a really good job. You can go on to another subject. All right, large group presentations. These are fun too. A large group is anything from 50 to, 100, 150, 200. We've done over 200 at Channelview High School in an auditorium setting before. And you have to kind of think about this. The kids are there because somebody told them they had to go. Some of them are going to sleep. Don't worry about them, let them sleep, okay? You're talking to the kids who want to hear your message. And as you talk, some of those kids who didn't think they wanted to hear it are going to perk up. And you're going to see that little perk up. And you can start eye contact, really kind of talk to them to let them know, hey, this might be for you. So they're held in common areas. This one was what I did at Ollie Middle School in Alief ISD. And we had all of their kids who were in their STEM classes. So that was a lot of fun. There will always be a teacher or an administrator in the room. Again, giveaways should be limited to those who answer questions, because if you get in a big auditorium with 200 kids, you can't give every kid something. If they ask a question and it's a logical question that has to do with the career, not, are you done yet? Okay. Don't give them a prize for that. But this young man has asked me a question, so he gets a prize. And I might give better ones to kids who answer better questions. Like if I've got a flash drive for a prize, here, that was a great question. Here's your flash drive. So that might make other kids think about, well, maybe I should ask a good question here. Really, with a large group, you need more than one presenter. I can do this. I have done it. But let me tell you how much better it goes. If you're going to be in an auditorium with 200 kids for an hour, I need Chad to come and give us information on workforce statistics in the area. I need Christy to come and tell about what programs are offered at Lee College that match what we're talking about today. I'm going to talk. And then I need you to come and tell us what you do at work every day. Wear your coveralls and tell them exactly what you do. One of the most effective speakers I've ever seen at one of those large presentations was this little girl about this tall. She was an instrument tech at LyondellBasell. And I want to tell you, every girl in that room listened to her. Because you see this beautiful young lady dressed in these horrible red coverall things. But she's beautiful. And she talks about how, yes, and she was from Taiwan, and she came here because she couldn't find work in her chosen field. She was a linguist. So she came here and she decided, oh, I think I like this instrument tech stuff. I have friends who are doing this. So she got a job being an instrument tech. She went to school for 2 years. She actually went to college at the mainland. Went for 2 years, got her certification, went to work at LyondellBasell, and absolutely loved her job. And she's out, her nails are pretty. Okay, she's out here talking to these girls. Hey, y'all, I make $90,000 a year. I work overtime. I make $90,000 a year. And those girls, every one of them perked up. These are careers that girls do not think are open to them. So we need the ladies too. The gentlemen, they know what they want most of the time. I want to be a welder. Well, good. You can be a welder in industrial construction. You can go to the college and get your certifications. You can go to ABC CMEF. You can go to different places. You can go into the welding trade with the unions, and then you go to work. So we try to address everybody as much as we can. I did have one kid come up to me. Actually, I came up to him. I said, hey, what do you want to do when you graduate? I'm going to be a PhD. I said, really? What's your PhD going to be in? I don't know, but I'm going to be a PhD. I said, well, what are you going to do? It won't matter. I'll have a PhD. I want so bad to say, honey, you really better get another plan. You know, plan B is going to be really good for you. And I talk to a lot of kids. What do you want to do? I'll be in the NBA. I'll be in the NFL. Really? What's your backup plan? Oh, I don't need one. So I start telling the story about Von Miller. I said, you know who Von Miller is? Oh, yeah, I know. You know he has a backup plan, right? No, he didn't need one. He's in the NFL. Well, actually, his degree from A&M is in poultry science, and he already has poultry businesses on the side. Really? So they need to know, you know, that's the NFL and the NBA. You're probably not going to do that. But if you do, that's not the end. That's just the beginning. You've got to go somewhere else after that. So I try to be real with these kids. Okay, on the large group presentations, check with the facility because some of them don't have AV equipment or internet access. If not, you may have to bring your own laptop, but you may not be able to show videos. So again, don't worry about those who sleep or don't participate or are writing letters or making out in the back, whatever, because it happens all the time. That's not our target audience. Sorry, we just don't care. If you don't care, we don't care. We're talking to the kids who are there to learn something. Okay, again, check with the venue on the audio-visual equipment. Always do video and sound checks. Okay, I work here. I came in and did a video and sound check this morning. I actually did it yesterday too. I wanted to make sure nothing changed between yesterday and today. Bring the Petrochem Works handouts or your company giveaways, business cards. Have somebody hand out the flyers before the presentation in a large group setting. It's best, again, to have co-presenters. If something comes up and you get invited to participate in that, you can send me an email and say, hey, I've been invited to participate in X. Can you help me out? And yes, I will help you out. I can help you get people. I will come. I'll help you out with that. I'm happy to do so. don't be intimidated by large groups. And it's easy for me to say. I've been a teacher all my life. Large groups do not bother me in the least. Small groups don't bother me in the least. I guess
Large groups are easier
yeah,
than the small groups.
and here's the deal.
Don't spot as much.
When I get intimidated, if I take off my glasses, I can't see a thing. So I'm in good shape. I can talk to anybody. But I don't get intimidated very often. All right, what do I say? What are you going to say when you talk to these kids? You need to tell them your story. Okay, I can send you this, Chrissy. You don't have to write it down if you don't want to. I'll send it to you if you want it. Okay. They need to know your educational background, especially if you were kind of a mess up in school. I'm serious about that. Because, you know, kids are kids. They do things when they're teenagers that they never do again the rest of their lives. And sometimes school, they just screw it up. So they need to know if you did that too. Yeah, I kind of messed up in school. I failed algebra and da-da-da-da. But I got myself back on track. I went to college. I became an engineer. They need to see that they can do what you've done. Kids, sometimes they just can't see past tomorrow. So they need to be able to see to the future. They need to be able to see that if everything's not perfect in high school, it's really okay because I can overcome that and become what you are. You need to talk about your past jobs and careers, the lifestyle you're living, including vacations, hobbies, job satisfactions, how the career has positively impacted your life. Some of the kids you're going to talk to have never been on vacation. Some of the kids have never really been out of their area. So you need to talk to them about what this career can do for your future. Talk about what it can do for their family. And as you're talking to kids, you may hear some things that maybe you can piggyback on and help them see that they can get past what's going on in their lives right now. Again, give the better giveaways to those who answer the questions. Ask lots of questions of the kids. One of the big ones is, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? And when they say NFL players, say, really? Yeah, what's your backup plan? You have a plan B in case that doesn't work out for you? Because I'm just mean. I was a mean old teacher. I'm just going to tell them, you need a backup plan. Because so very few people go to the NBA and the NFL and all those things. And they want to be actors. I was at a career fair one day and a kid said, where's the MMA booth? I said, we don't have that here. You know, we don't have MMA. I know. You're going to laugh a lot. You really are. Let the students talk. They will often guide the direction of the discussion. Let them say what they have to say. Let them ask their questions. Let them talk about their experiences. And that will often guide you to what you need to say about your career and how your career could impact them. All right? Ask some questions. Hey, does anybody in your family or a friend work in this industry? Because sometimes they do have members that work in the industry, especially in the Pasadena, Deer Park, Channelview, Sheldon, Baytown area. A lot of people are going to know somebody or have a relative that works in the industry. And my first question is, really, they drive a nice truck? They live in a nice house? Have they been on vacation recently? So they can kind of connect that to what you're doing with your life. Ask them, what do you know about the petrochemical industry? And I'm going to tell you one of the first things they always say, oh, it's dangerous. There's your opening to talk about how safe it is. There's your opening to talk about how environmentally conscious all of these companies are. It's your opening to talk about, well, did you know that the air quality in Houston has gone up X amount? And I just read that the other day. I can't remember what it is. In the last 10 years because of what the petrochemical companies are doing. Ask them, hey, do you know where the closest chemical plant is located nearest to your school or home? Some of them live right in those backyards and don't even know it. Another thing they talk about when you ask them, what do you know about it, is, oh, those flares, oh, those flares. So you have to talk about those flares. Hey, flares are a good thing. If it wasn't for the flares, that place would blow up. That's a safety feature. Talk about the steam that they see coming up. They think that's bad smoke. It's not, it's steam. Talk about why the plant uses steam, how the plant uses steam, what the steam is for. So you can talk to them about a number of things that will give them more information about a new career that they might not have considered. When you're in a large group or even with parents, the audience might ask, what do you do? So describe what you do in a typical day, okay? What are your challenges? Is every day the same? How much do you make? You can give a salary range. If you want to tell them how much you make, I don't care. That's up to you, but you don't have to. What's your work schedule like? It's good for kids to hear about shift work. I tell my kids when I go places, hey, my husband worked there for 46 years. He only worked 14 days a month. It was structured so he worked 7-day shifts and 7-night shifts. And you know what? Every month he was scheduled for a whole week off. That's like having spring break every single month. Oh, they can relate to that. So those are the kinds of things you tell them. If you work the Exxon schedule 4 and 4, hey, tell them, hey, I only go to work 4 days, and I'm off 4 days. That sure beats a Friday and Saturday off. I can work 4 and be off 4, work 4, be off 4. I do not discount the fact that you do have to work holidays and you do have to work nights. I let them know up ahead that this is what you have to do. And it's okay. Because of you working this, sometimes you make time and a half, sometimes you make double time. It's a good way to make extra money. And if you need extra money, I tell them my husband's truck story. We needed a new truck. He said in December, okay, starting in January, you won't see me because I'm working overtime, so I'll make enough money to buy this truck. So in March, into March, we went to a dealership and wrote a check for a brand new truck. So they have the opportunity to make more money. As a teacher, I never had that. I made X. All I made was X. I never had a chance to work overtime to buy extra things for our family. And then what kind of technology do you use and interact with? They're real interested about that because kids are pretty tech savvy. They're not as tech savvy as they think they are. They think because they can use a phone, they know everything about technology. Well, I kind of got it over on them because I was a technology teacher. So I asked them, what do they know about Word, Excel, and PowerPoint? How about Access? Can you program a computer? Can you wire a jack? And then they found out, well, maybe they don't know as much as they thought they did. But we need to give them those opportunities. You know what? In a plant, you're going to use different technology than you use at home. You're going to use different technology than you use at school. And some of the people that have worked with me actually told the kids about how the technology worked at that plant. So that was very cool. What motivated you to enter that career? The lady that I worked with, the engineer from Ineos that went with me to Alvin, she said, you know what, nobody in my family ever went to college and I wanted to be the first one. That's what motivated me. And they asked her, well, why did you want to be an engineer? I thought it sounded cool. She said, and once I got into it, I absolutely loved it. So she talked more about what she thought was cool about engineering. It was excellent. What do you enjoy most about your career? What are the most interesting things about your job? How did you get started working for your company? Those are some things that you might be asked. They also might ask, do you use math or science on the job and how? One of the things I always tell the kids is, you know, when you're sitting in algebra class, you're thinking, I will never use this. I hate algebra, I'll never use this. But when you get out on the job and you apply that algebra to what you're doing, it becomes fun. It's a whole different ball of wax whenever you can apply what you've learned. What subjects were important to take in middle school and high school? What training or education is required? What classes or training most prepared you for your career? What other skills are required of your job? Describe the importance of soft skills. Everybody, I need you to do this. Talk about soft skills. Talk about being on time, being a person of your word, being there when you're supposed to be there. Go do your job and don't spend your time on your phone. I talk to the kids about the fact that you could get fired for being on your phone at work. So you need to go in there and help them with the soft skills. Make sure you shake hands with them. Let's practice here. You give a firm handshake to teach them. You need a firm handshake and eye contact. Okay? You are teaching by example. Let's see, what do we have after that? Soft skills. How much does it cost to go to college for your career? They need to know that. About your industry, what's it like to work in the plant? Talk about the quality of life. I will tell the kids often that, you know, when you get on a shift and you stay on that shift a long time, it kind of becomes your work family. You know, you get to know other people's families. Sometimes y'all do things together. You know what people like and don't like. It actually becomes a family at work. What are industry expectations with regard to attitude, background checks, and drug testing and safety? I'm shocked that these kids are amazed that drug testing is done. I'm just shocked. And we were talking about it at the camp, the summer camp in Alvin, and the girl said, "You mean you lose your job by using drugs?" I said, "Yeah, you can." And we talk about the hair follicle test, okay? We talk about the fact that no matter how smart you are, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how wonderful you are, if you're the best engineer on the place, if you fail a drug test, they can pick up your badge and you're out of there.
Or
They're
you get a
shocked.
job in the first place.
Exactly, if you can get one in the first place. And we talk about the truck drivers, that they have to be drug tested frequently. They have to have health checks, different kinds of regulations for different kind of workers. So it's a real eye-opening experience for them. And I always tell them, look, you're at this part of your life where you're going to be asked to make some decisions about doing these kinds of things. And while I know it's going to be, you think it's going to be fun and the coolest thing to do, 5 years down the line, is it going to prevent you from getting a job? Is that conviction that you got for stealing something at a store going to prevent you from getting a job? You need to think about all these things, because that's the difference between you having a good job and a good life and you having a crummy life, basically. All right, what else? How important is safety? Please stress safety. Safety, safety, safety. Now, I tell the kids all the time, look, you're not going to go to one safety meeting a year. You're going to go to safety meetings all through the year at a plant, because it's vital. I tell them when I go over to Shell at the Mustang building to go to a meeting, we have a safety meeting before our regular meeting even gets started. We find out where the exits are. We find out if there are any drills planned. If there are not any drills planned, we know the exit we're supposed to take and where we're supposed to gather in the parking lot. We look around the room for hazards. Several times I've been in the room and there was an extension cord that they took care of right away. So safety is not a thing that just happens now and then. It's a culture that continues throughout the whole company. All right, any questions about these questions so far? Questions about questions? Yes, ma'am.
On the last bullet under skills and training, you talked about the cost to go to college. And do you ever mention whatever, like scholarships, or is that further?
Absolutely. I talk about scholarships all the time. I also let them know if they're interested in some of the 2-year careers at the community colleges for petrochem, welding, pipe fitting, electrical. Those are the main ones I do. Welding. It's about $7,000 for the 2-year program, and that there are scholarships available not just through the college, but with ECMA. And I tell them we had the golf tournament back in October. We raised over $500,000 for scholarships. So once you go in and do your FAFSA, you can apply for things there. And then there's also other scholarships with the colleges you can apply for, like the ECMA scholarship.
Because I know, like, for College of Mainland, we push for workforce solutions in their scholarships.
Yes, absolutely.
As well as TPEG and veterans.
Yes, absolutely.
Just wanted to know, because I know that's really huge for going into some of these trainings because of the cost.
And thank you for bringing that up. I don't know if I have it on here or not, but I do address scholarships all the time.
Okay, wasn't sure. Thank you, though.
Sure. All right, they also might ask you to give a brief history of your company. You should know this, right? Before you go, give them a brief history. I always tell the kids, if you're going to apply for a job at Dow, you better know some history about Dow, because if 3 people come in to interview and you're the only one who knows about the history of Dow, you'll probably get the job over the other 2, because it's important. I know BASF does ask that question when they interview people. What type of products does your company make? What are your benefits? And there they are. This is a good one. Do females work in your plant, or only males? Some companies are actually paying hiring bonuses for females because they want to get more females into the workplace. What attracted you to work for that company? Is your plant safe, and how does your company help the environment? These are some things you're going to hear.
And feel free to bring stuff. So I know, like, when CP Chem comes, they always bring a bag of their
Pellets.
pellets.
Yeah, I take the pellets as well.
Yeah, and so that they can tell them, what do you think this is? What do you think we do with it? So feel free to bring anything from your company that's going to...
It just extends the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah. All right. Where do you get the materials you need? Again, bring your own business cards and giveaway items. This is the old tablecloth. We're getting a new tablecloth that says Petrochem Works, and you can get it at the East Harris County Manufacturers Association. There is the address and phone number, and Pamela is the assistant. There's a roller sign, there's flyers, there's stickers, all kinds of things you can get. Again, if you're coming with me, I will have everything, and all you have to do is show up and talk to kids. That's all you have to do. Again, these items have to be promptly returned to that office because somebody else will need them. I think we still have the East Harris County one over there, but we're getting new ones made that say Petrochem Works. We're kind of losing the East Harris County Manufacturers Association logo in favor of the Petrochem Works for these presentations. Okay, what are your questions before we go to break? Yes, sir.
How often do you get to talk to the parents?
Not very often. Sometimes the parents do come to the career fairs, especially if they're on Saturday. The big one at HISD, there are as many parents there as there are students. And occasionally we have PTSO presentations where there were quite a few parents. The one I did in Burkeville up at East Texas, I was surprised how many parents were there.
What's the other one? Is it Crosby? Theirs is in the evening?
Yes,
There's
Goose
a lot.
Creek had one in the evening as well.
Yeah.
And the parents are going to have just about the same questions the students are going to have, but they're mainly focused on safety. How safe is this for my kid? We're trying to change the perception that manufacturing is ugly, dangerous, and scary, okay? It's not. It's really not. So people just don't have the new perception. They have maybe the old perception of how it used to be many, many years ago. And it's fun to talk to the parents. Parents and students have different expectations for themselves. And, you know, in your life and in mine, my parents had different expectations for me than the way I turned out. I think I turned out okay. All right. Now we're going to talk about Petrochem Works. This is the handout that you can get from ECMA, or I can send you the file. You can print it out yourself. Again, if you are with me, I will have all these handouts, so you won't have to worry about them. Also, they have these really cool "Don't Be a Zombie" stickers. The kids like this. And what you do is you hand them out and say, "Don't be a zombie." And they say, "What's that about?" And it talks about making good career choices. I'll show you the video in just a few minutes. All right, and what's all this about zombies and Petrochem Works? Well, let me show you the zombie video. This is actually a movie trailer.
Don't be a zombie. Put some life in your career and join the thousands of young adults finding their match in the petrochemical industry. Great benefits, an average industry salary of $70K, and no 4-year degree required. Find your match at petrochemworks.com.
The kids kind of like that video too. I try to show that whenever I have a classroom to talk to the kids. And then this is a little overview about Petrochem Works. I'm going to show this video so you kind of have an idea of what we're talking about when we talk about Petrochem Works and the website.
Great news! Petrochem is a thriving industry on the Gulf Coast, and they are hiring. We have an exciting opportunity to prepare the workforce to join this industry. JP Morgan Chase has invested in a powerful new interactive tool, a resource to help this industry build a demand-driven workforce by preparing youth and adults for careers in high-demand occupations. Welcome to the Petrochem Career Action Platform, an interactive experience that helps people understand the industry, find their perfect job fit, and connect to education and training to prepare for exciting careers. PetrochemWorks.com aims to do 3 things. 1, generate excitement in the industry and empower future workers to take charge of their careers. 2, connect students to programs and training that prepare them for petrochemical jobs. And 3, ultimately help them land amazing, great paying careers. There's a lot of great work happening already, which is why the PetroChemWorks.com partnership includes a wide array of stakeholders, all working together to make this resource relevant, accurate, effective, and readily available. So let's dig in and explore PetroChemWorks.com. Imagine a tool that you can use with students who don't know what's next, who don't understand the industry, don't know what job to pursue, which courses to take, the benefits of working in this industry, and the kinds of employer benefits and opportunities available within petrochemical. The website was enriched with knowledge and contributions from experienced ECMA member petrochemical employees from HR, craft and training positions, community college reps, and other project partners. This input fortified our content with rich, detailed job descriptions, along with a matchmaking tool to align interests, skills, and education with careers. In just a few simple clicks, users can tell us about their interests, their skills, and their education. And the matching tool will reveal roles that are a good fit. PetroChemWorks.com is a unique place to tell the industry story, the place to help job seekers see their future in a petrochem company and within the industry, a place for faculty, advisors, and career counselors to leverage during advising conversations as a way to grow the student base and funnel students into the right programs. They can also use the tool to fire up existing students about opportunities in petrochem. It's the place for employers, industry association representatives, and economic development organizations to use the tool to attract new workers into the industry, workers with the right skills and the right interests. A place for the community to build an educated and available workforce across this growing region and support a stronger and more informed community. Be sure to visit and bookmark www.petrochemworks.com.
Okay, that's what PetroChemWorks is all about. We're going to spend a little bit of time going over the website so you'll be more familiar with it. Even though you have a job already, even though you are in your chosen career, it's still fun to go back and look at this, because there might be something that pops up here that you never considered for yourself, but really it's mainly for the kiddos. These are the sponsors of the website. ECMA, of course, is the site owner. JP Morgan Chase paid for the site creation, and Kale, they're working the backside of it right now. They're kind of monitoring how the website is being used and making changes as we go along. The goals of PetroChemWorks are to generate excitement about the industry, to empower future workers with long-term goals, to connect students to training programs, and to assist with building an educated and available regional workforce. You know, there's the issue here, it's not really showing up in some of the economist information that I've seen lately, because we know it's a coming shortage. We're kind of okay right now, but we know all these people are retiring, and we need to get another group trained up to be able to come to work and carry on the work that's been going on the last 25 years. The site features information about more than 50 common industry jobs. Some of these I'd never even heard of before. There's a lot of things in here that relate to logistics, transportation, and safety. And I didn't realize those jobs were available at the plants. It's an interactive matching tool. I'm going to show you how that works. There's career maps, which is really good. It shows you basically how to go from entry level to the boss. And I make sure I show that to the kids. You're going to hire in as this, Eventually you can work up to this, and eventually you could maybe manage the entire company. And we talked about this earlier. I do talk to the kids about the fact that if you hire in as a process technology person and you decide you really love what you're doing, you want to be an engineer, if you've been with a company for a while, you can go talk to them. Some companies will offer you the opportunity to finish and become an engineer at their expense. Now, you may have to sign an agreement that I will not leave the company for 5 years, but they're going to pay you to work and to become an engineer. So there's lots of opportunities. You know, and like I tell them always, when you graduate from high school or college, that's not the end, that's just the beginning. Everything you do is just the beginning that leads on and on and on. There's guidance on the necessary education and skills needed for employment in each of these fields. It gives information on the schools and program details, connections to open jobs, and this one is pretty unvarnished truth about the industry and the good work and the benefit to the employees. The website audiences, high school students. There's actually a couple of kiosks at high schools for Petrochem Works right now. So that's been a great investment for the industry. They get to know the big picture of life after high school, know the possibilities, and know the scholarship opportunities. For community college students, it helps focus conversations on career education. For career changers, we have unemployed, underemployed, and veterans. It points to transferable skills. And it keeps career advisors up on the industry. Because honestly, okay, think about this. Teachers, principals, and counselors, they went to elementary, junior high, and high school. Then they went to college. They went to work at an elementary, junior high, or high school. They have never been out in the world of work. They really don't know what's out there. They know what they've heard or know what their family members do, but they're experts in their subject matter. They're not experts in what's going on in the world that we live in. So we have to be there to actually let them know what's going on as well. And as the CTE director, I will tell you, I've had many meetings where I had Chad come in and Roy Watson come in and other people come in, CJ from Shell, and I had to stop my football coaches from leaving. It's, oh my gosh, they make more money than we do. So I had to like talk them into, I'll buy you something if you stay. And I have done that. All right, this is what the website looks like. When you go to the page, there's a Match Me button. And the Match Me to the Perfect Career, all the information here is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and ONET, and it's been localized and validated by HR departments in the Gulf Coast area. Now, this is mainly for the Gulf Coast area. This has nothing to do with Dallas or Atlanta or anywhere else in the country. This particular website focuses on the Gulf Coast area. It's going to match you to a petrochem job. And you ask the kids, hey, you want a job to work in the latest technology? Do you enjoy science lab? Are you good at working on machines? We're going to be able to find you something in this area that will benefit you and maybe give you a great outlook for your life. All right, this is the skills page. And what you do, you check on it. And I'm going to go to the page live so you can see it in just a few minutes. And then these are the slider bars. I'm working with the company right now because there's two things on here. Avoiding stress and avoiding risk. Okay, you cannot avoid either of those two things, right? If you have to drive to work, you're stress and risk, right? Sometimes getting out of bed is stress and risk. So we're going to have those taken off. I don't think those are appropriate. Then you choose your education level. Here's what I tell the kids. You can start with a high school diploma or GED, and you will find some careers there. You can start with a certificate of completion. You'll find some careers there. But the money starts with associate's degree. That's where the money starts. So I have them all start there. Now, whenever they put all of their skills and interest in there, it's going to show some things that require a bachelor's degree. But we're going to start in the middle. Because you can move up to the associate's degree and you can move past the associate's degree. So we're going to start with associate's degree. And then it's going to pick jobs that fit you. And you can see right there the percent matches. with the things that this person put in, it was a 93% match for machinist, a 91% match for safety coordinator, an 89% match with analyzer tech, and an 81% match with process tech. What I encourage my students to do is click on these careers, learn more about them. What do you think about a machinist? What do you think about a safety coordinator, an analyzer tech, or a process technician? What about these careers appeals to you? All right, this is what the page looks like. You can click on the link and it goes straight to the description. Here's a description of an operations manager. And what happens in here, there's the main description. Here's the salary right here. It shows how these things match to what they put in the computer. It tells you further down, explore this job's map at the bottom. It tells you the critical skills, the key responsibility, and here's where it tells you the required education. Okay, this says you're going to have a bachelor's degree in engineering or operations management. So let's go back a slide. Okay, $22 to $45 an hour, that's a pretty big range. One of the things I tell the kids is, remember, you're going to start at 22. You're not going to start at 45. You're not even going to start at 30. When you're new, you start at the bottom. Everybody starts at the bottom. Nobody starts at the top. So I keep reminding them every time I show a salary range, remember, you're going to start at the lower end of the range. As you get more experience and learn more about the job, then you're going to move up the salary range. All right, here's the preferred education with a master's degree. But we also show where you can get the training. You can start out at San Jac, Central, Northern Maritime, or Lee College main campus. This is location specific. So if I'm down towards Brazosport, it's going to show Brazosport College and different areas in that area of, different educational institutions in that area where I am. So it's going to be different depending on where you are. This one was on Crawford Street, so this is something that the company had set up. Nearby employers, Dow, Roman Haas, Lubrizol, Shell, and Dow Houston Operations. Then it's going to show me there's 13 openings at this second for this job. So I'm going to click on Find This Job, and it's going to put me onto Indeed.com and show me a listing of the jobs available right now, real time. So the kids have a lot of options. I mean, they're not going to be ready for the jobs yet, but if somebody here is underemployed, unemployed, or a veteran, it's going to give them the opportunities right there. And I always tell the kids, hey, if you have an older brother or sister or somebody in your family is looking for a job, why don't you put them on this website? Let them go through it so they can maybe find a really great career for themselves. There's lots of industry information under About Petrochem. You can use the matching tool. There are job descriptions, who is hiring, and where to get the training. Lots of great options. This was a very well thought out website. If you have a QR reader on your phone, you can go ahead and click on there if you want. This is mobile friendly. You'll be able to see it on your phone. Everybody got it? Okay. Ready for me to move on? Okay. Let me go ahead and pull the website up. This is not something you have to go do as you train. I will do the training on this, but if you want to, you'll be able to. I'll be able to help you, whatever you want to do with that. If it comes to an engagement where someone asks you to train on this and you don't feel comfortable, you can call me or email me and I will do the training, or I will get you up to speed on the training, however you want to do it. Let's do petrochemworks.com here. It's really cool whenever the adults do this too, because again, most of the teachers are not aware of all of these opportunities in the petrochem field. So they really can't advise their students on what to do. Greg and I were at a teacher training at the Harris County Department of Education last week. And I showed them this, and they were very impressed with it. And what I tried to do is I linked every career that I talked about back to their science curriculum. All right, let's do the Match Me. Here we go. I'm going to let y'all help me with this. All right, here are some of the skills. And what we're going to do, we're just going to click on them. Let's say analytical thinking. Who wants me to pick another one? Let's do the engineering people, engineering principles. How about gathering information through observation? How about communication? How about chemistry knowledge? How about eye-hand coordination? Okay, there is no telling what's going to show up here, y'all. Okay, well, I'm going to be a team player no matter what I do. So I'm going to click next, and it's going to give me the slider bars. All right, let's go back to the top. On the sliders, if I like it, I'm going to move it to the right. If I don't like it, I'm going to move it to the left. And if I don't care, it's staying right in the middle. Physical activity, caring for the environment. I don't care about a quiet workplace. I can work loud or quiet. I'm going to leave avoiding stress and avoiding risk alone. I'm going to say I don't want to manage people, but I want things to go better. Oh, I'm a true nerd, y'all. I really like this kind of stuff. And let's do that. All right, now I'm going to say next. Here's where I'm going to choose my education level. I already have master's degrees, but I'm not going to pick that. I'm just going to go back here to associate's degree. And I'm going to choose next. And here's what it's going to give me. It's telling me I have a 79% match for quality control systems manager, 78% with process safety engineer, a 74% with research chemist, and a 73% with maintenance engineer. So that's 4 careers. And you know what? I really never heard of any of those. Okay? I'm really interested. Let me see. The one that interests me the most, let's say I like process safety engineer. I'm going to click on there, and it's going to bring up the description of a process safety engineer. All right. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to look at what this says. It's going to tell me the description of that particular career. It tells me I'm going to make between $38 and $65 an hour. Now, logically, I'm going to think I probably need a bachelor's degree for this job or more, making that kind of money. We'll see if I'm right. I may or may not be. The critical skills and the key responsibilities. And it does tell me I'm going to need to have a bachelor's degree in engineering. That gives the kids something to strive for. You know, so many kids say, well, I'm going to go to college. Well, what are you going to do with your degree? Well, I don't know, but I'm going to college. Well, you have to have a direction. You must have a direction. What are you going to major in? I don't know. You need to know before you go to college. They're going to make you declare a major. And then they make you declare a minor. It just depends on the college. So you have to have some kind of idea what you want to do. So this is telling me that my skills and interests point to the fact that I probably need to be an engineer. So maybe I do need to go to college for 4 years. All right, I'm going to scroll down and see what other kind of information I can find. All right, the nearby providers where I can get my start: Sanjak, Central North in Maine, and Lee College. So, Christy, did they have pre-engineering at Lee?
Yes.
They have it at Sanjak as well. That tells me I don't have to go to University of Houston to become an engineer. That means I can spend less money on tuition and go to my community college and get my basics and get started. Another thing you need to tell students is if they're going to go to community college, it is vitally important that they get their associate's degree, because sometimes it doesn't all transfer over. You've got to have that associate's. So that's what this is telling me. I'm telling me there's nearby employers: Lubrizol, Dow, Shell, and Dow again. And then it's going to give me my career map. Now, because I have a bachelor's degree in engineering, I'm not going to start as a helper, right? I'm going to kind of start at the midpoint. So if I start as a process safety engineer, then I can move into management on there. So I've got a pathway. I'm not just done. We know you become an engineer, that's not the end. Again, that's just the beginning. You have to keep moving up.
What did the percentages represent here?
That's the percentages of match to what I put in there. That's the percentage it matches my interests and my skills. All right, if I want to find out more, and I know my time is running close here, so let's do this kind of quick. If I want to find out more about these companies that have the careers, I'm going to click on Dow Chemical Company, and it's going to give me a lot of information about Dow. All right, it's going to tell you some of the products it makes. It's going to talk about their innovations and the recognition they've received, and all those types of different things. It talks about their social impact. It talks about leadership. It gives you a map of the locations of Dow. I feel like this is an extremely comprehensive website that can really help someone plan their future. Let's talk about the tips for engagement. When you're out there, and this is thanks to Junior Achievement, this is their little handout, their little tip sheet that they give to everybody. Give away promotional items. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Kids can see right through that. Be yourself. Be honest. You know, look them in the eye. Talk to them. Shake their hand. Be yourself. They'll appreciate that. Explain things in everyday language. They're not going to get the jargon. You're going to have to explain it in a language they can understand. Be enthusiastic and smile and showcase Petrochem Works. Be positive. Be accessible. And the most thing, make it fun. If it's not fun for you, it's not going to be fun for the kids. If it's a chore for you, you need to talk to me and we'll find you another way to help, okay? If you don't like doing this, if you don't like talking to kids, some people don't really care to talk to kids. I could talk to kids all day. Doesn't bother me. How do I find out about an event? Now, this is our calendar. This is the ECMA calendar. You go online to Gulf Coast Workforce Events. You can search it just like that. And this is what it looks like. When you click on the page, there's a drop down that says View Events and Submit Events. First, we're going to view them. This is what it looks like. August is pretty quiet for us. School's just starting back. I have one event on the calendar. There it is. All right, when I click on the event, this is what's going to pop up. It's going to tell you all about the event. It's going to tell you where it is. It's going to tell you what time it is. It's going to give you a little bit of a description of the event. It's going to give you a person to contact. However, you can always contact me, and I will take care of all the other contact information for you. All right, here are the details. There's a date, time, the cost. By the way, we don't charge anything, and we don't pay anything. If we have to pay, we don't go. Okay? It's all the free stuff. The organizer is Jamie. There's her email. There's her phone number. This is the information. I always put in there, if I'm going to be at the event, you'll know. Because my contact information will be there. I will take care of the setup. How many volunteers do I need? I need 2. The audience is for high school. How many people are expected to participate? There's actually going to be 80 teachers there. The industry representation needed, I need construction, manufacturing, petrochemical, maritime, transportation, logistics, and safety. I need all those people. Can one person do all of those? Maybe 2 can. All right, look, there's a map. You can click on there and map it right from your office. Okay? Now here's how you volunteer. You'll see an RSVP with a 0. You want to put a 1 in that and click Confirm RSVP and say that you're going. So that comes back to me. I mean, Patty also sees it, don't you? Patty and I both see this. So we know who's going to be volunteering for the event. All right? What are your questions so far?
And just one thing to keep in mind is this calendar is open to the public. So schools can actually go and put their events on our calendar without us knowing about it or being in, we'll know about it because we have to approve it to be there. So when you click on an event, you'll want to, if you really are trying to make sure you get in your hours for Petrochem Works or ECMA, you want to make sure that it's an event that ECMA is going to have a booth at. One of the things also is, so ECMA has a booth at all of the JA Inspire events. When you check in to come, and if you're going to be volunteering at the ECMA booth, when you check in for any event, you'll want to let them know that you're with ECMA or Dream It, Do It, or Petrochem Works, whichever you're going to be working at their booth. What happened at JA Inspire last year is we had a volunteer from Austin Industrial, and they showed up and they just said they were with Austin Industrial. So they sent them to the Austin Industrial booth, and the ECMA booth had to have one person for 5,000 kids rotating because they weren't I mean, and the people that check in at the events probably don't know.
No,
So
they
it's kind
don't.
of up to you.
Normally, and we've had some schools put some events in, and one of us have had to go clean it up because
Right.
I don't mind putting it in. If you hear of an event, if you'll just talk to me, I'll be happy to put it on the calendar, or Patty will. And if they have a flyer, we can use the flyer as well. This is the website live. Okay,
Yeah,
this,
so if you know of event and you know, for example, Mind Trekkers, that happens at San Jacinto
yes,
College.
in March,
Yes,
usually.
in March. I mean, that was on our, and we tried to use the calendar to help, recruit for volunteers for that event as well. So there'll be different resources for volunteering on the calendar, in addition to the ones that Denise is personally gonna be at.
Oh, there'll
So
be
you'll
more.
wanna make sure, yeah. You wanna make sure that you read through the information provided about the event and who's gonna be there. And that doesn't mean that if you see that Channelview High School is having a speakers, that doesn't mean that Dow Chemical couldn't call and say, hey, I see that you're having, do you need additional speakers? What are you looking for? And you could still go on that.
Especially if
list.
Patty and I have put it on the calendar,
Mhm.
and we have our name anywhere in the description or anywhere in the contact information, just call us. We can probably get you guys in.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at this website. This is the events that we talked about, the view events and submit events. I'm going to go ahead and check. Let's see if we can move in a little bit further down in the events. Oh, we're running over time. All right, I want to go to September. Oh, let's go to August. We've got a few in August. We've got some in September. I've got things as far as November. But anyway, that's what you can look at it that way. Let's go back. If you want to see what we saw today, here is the Ambassador Training tab on the page. This is talks about what we did, what we did today. The volunteer training is right here. The PowerPoint you saw today is right here. We also have additional information from Junior Achievement, Petrochem Works. We've got packets by Junior Achievement. We have useful links, which is most of our websites. And if you have any questions, these are mine and Patty's contact numbers and emails. I hope what I've shown you today makes you want to come and talk to kids. It's a great thing to do. We need ambassadors like you to come and show the kids that there is a lot that they can think about for their future. They don't just have to be 1, 2, or 3 different things or what they know about. They need to find out that there's so much more out there for them to have a beautiful and successful life. And we can help them do it in petrochemicals. Are there any more questions? Thank you for your time today. I certainly appreciate all of you coming out. Thank you. Thank you.